Hello and welcome to this live stream. Hope you're all doing well. Corpse is a little bit delayed, or so it seems. He should be here any second. So I'm just gonna check where he is at. How are y'all doing, guys? Let me know in the comments. How's life? You guys can hear me or no? I can hear Corpse. Hey man,
Hey.
how are you doing?
Hey, doing good. Thanks for asking. Sorry I'm late. I had a little bit of a login issue. I'm on the go right now, and I couldn't get it from my phone, so I had to dig around and get my laptop and pull it out. Can you hear me okay?
I definitely can. And I believe the viewers should be able to hear you as well. Yes, they do.
Cool. All right. How's everybody doing today? I can't see any comments. I don't know what the deal is with this or whatever, but probably because it's maybe only on your side. I'm not sure. But good. So it's what do we got going here? Saturday today. It's pretty good. What did I catch you in the middle of?
Nothing. I was live for like 10 seconds. So
Oh, cool.
you are just in time. That's nice. Nice. Okay. So the purpose of today is to basically show you guys what we've been up to lately and the things that are about to happen. You know, Corpse and I are gonna take you briefly over what we have been creating and still are creating actually, because this is gonna be some huge content. How many hours are we making again? I believe it was over 100.
Yeah, all said and done over all the weeks. Yeah, it's going to be a massive amount of content. That's just going to be needed for this. So no filler, but yeah, it's going to be hard to cut it down. So there's going to be it's hard to tell right now because we haven't actually recorded it yet. But just kind of getting a general idea as we're assembling it, it's going to be massive.
Yeah, and I'm super excited for that. Let's see. What I propose we do first is just take our members over the actual content and the schedule that we have created, so they get a feel of what we're actually up to.
Okay. You want me to take it from here, or?
Yeah. If you can share your screen, I can share my screen as well. But
yep, I'm gonna have a hard time sharing the screen. But I don't think I really need to necessarily share it because I'll just probably be going either off memory or off like a Google Doc. So not a a ton to actually share. Just wanted to really get about the information. And then what's going to have to happen is we'll probably end up doing one more of these with a little bit more structure to it, and give you like the concrete. Okay, this is the finished outline. This is the finished schedule, and then this is actually the start date. Right. So a few of these things are still up in the air because we're still assembling it and still siphoning through things, figuring out what to cut, what to add, what to make sure we have. It's a very massive undertaking that's taking an incredible amount of time. But as soon as we have like the concrete, then we'll do one more of these. This is more of just like a catch up to let you guys know what's happening, and to let you know that we're honing in on getting ready to launch this thing and to actually start recording it very soon. I'm actually leaving Tuesday. I'm going to go over to see Jeff, and then we're going to be working on this together. We're going to be banging it out there at his location so that we can hopefully get this done even quicker. Okay, so. A lot of changes going on, a lot of big stuff happening. If anybody's not familiar, I guess I can kind of start here, but we are completely redoing the campus, okay? We're going to be moving a lot of stuff around. The purpose of this, and what kind of sparred this on, was going through the Margin Engine product and just kind of seeing like, just deeper focused education that wasn't so general, and kind of seeing, just the feedback from that and how much I was helping people. And then having a few one-on-one just coaching calls with actual members of the campus, not the engine, but the actual campus, and just getting the feedback that there's several people that have been in the campus for a few months, that have been around, that have gone through the what we offer for courses currently, and still struggling with some of the very basic things, or still struggling with just direction, and and just realizing that what we're offering as far as education, even what we have right now, is it's kind of very general, and it's not extremely helpful in terms of getting real results and actually nailing down things. So we brainstormed for a while to try to figure out what we could do, and then the final idea is to come out with a trader development program that is going to be a very structured, set out program that goes for about 6 or 7 weeks, and takes a lot of topics, takes a lot of ideas, some of the stuff we've done generally, and really drill it down to like specific detail and specific like actionable steps, and some real strategies. And then also adding in obviously a bunch of new things, some stuff that you're never going to hear anywhere. As far as like retail community goes, the kind of information that they're only going to teach you at like a prop desk or something, because it's just, there's a big difference between like a retail and an institutional perspective. So hoping to bring as much of that as I can, and really excited about this content, really excited about this course, and having an actual product that is going to take you from zero, if that's where you're at, and maybe you're not familiar with even how to get started, or if you've been doing this for a while, this is just going to make sure that you're on the right path, help tear down some of the wrong things we've been doing, get focused, and then get some actual strategies to where we can, everybody can actually be getting some real results, and then figuring out how to do this stuff for yourself, so you don't have to rely on calls, you don't have to rely on that type of a environment, because truthfully, nobody, not one single person that makes it in this business does so by following other people's calls or by anything like that. That might work for a little bit of a time. You might see like some immediate results with that, but as far as like long term, and that's the goal, right? The goal is to be around for the next year or so, 2 years, 3 years. And if you want that longevity and you actually want to make a serious go of this thing, that's not a sustainable way to do it. And so anyway, that was the purpose of the whole revamp. Not to take too much time there, but just so you guys can kind of see where our heads are, and kind of what we want to develop. So as we go through this, it's actually going to be what would be considered like a high ticket item when we go to actually sell this structured content. But I want to obviously make the point at first that if you're a campus member, you're not going to get lumped in. You're not going to have to pay extra for that. It's not going to be an additional cost to you. Anybody who's here, everybody who's been with us, you're actually going to get adopted into this, and you'll make the transition if you want, obviously. But so don't worry about that. It won't be anything extra for you, which is kind of a big deal, because like I said, it will be a kind of a high ticket item, because this is going to be a really probably very unique program to go through. Okay. So with that being said, let me give you guys kind of the outline as far as maybe what we can expect, and what we're going to be offering here.
Korbs, do you want me to share the like the schedule on the screen, or can you do without?
I can do without, and like I said, it's pretty much, kind of a Google Doc, so I don't know if there's really anything to share, really. But,
That's true.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of go through the outline, if that's cool. If there's any questions about this stuff, feel free to ask. Like I said, I'm literally on the go right now, so Jeffrey, you can help me with it. But let me just walk you guys through it so you know what's coming up, and what we kind of expect. So we're going to break this down into, I'm pretty 90% sure it's going to be 6 weeks. And then each week's going to be just a different thing. So the first week, we're going to just be laying the foundation and going over some of the fundamentals. Okay, so this is going to be a week where we just kind of go through some overview stuff, talk about how this, really explain how this course is set up, really explain how to go through this course. So you're not just like packing in information, but you're actually going through it in a structured way, the way that we're going to have it set up, to just see the actual, get the best results out of this, the best results for your time, so on and so forth. Okay, so we're going to go over some of this. We have a lot of topics under here, just about some very mindful and just some thoughtful, practical steps that we all need to take. And if you haven't taken these yet and you've been trading for a while, this is going to be very helpful for you. But we're going to have several things that are kind of geared around the ultimate sense of like finding your why, finding out exactly why you're doing this, why exactly you want to go down this path, what your motivations are, what you're hoping to get out of this. A lot of that type of, we have some specific questions and things to ask, and I really hope you guys take the time to sit down through this part and figure these things out, because if you know why you're doing something, or I should say if you don't know why you're doing something, and you don't really know what exactly you're hoping to get out of it, or what exactly you're looking for out of this, if you're just in it as with some kind of a random goal of making money, or just some kind of a random idea of maybe what you want, but nothing concrete, nothing you've actually thought through, then essentially you're playing a game that you just can't win. And I see this a lot with a lot of traders and the ones I've been talking to. They don't really know what they want, but they get very frustrated when they don't get it. And life is the same way with trading. We are in a position where we get to make the rules. And if you don't take the time to structure those out, you're setting yourself up for a game that you just cannot win. Okay, so we're gonna walk you through this process as part of just the kind of the overview and kind of getting started on this. And then we're gonna talk about becoming great, really practical steps, but just really some detailed things that nobody probably talks about, but what it actually takes and what it's gonna look like to go through this journey of not learning how to trade. Okay, we got to get that out of our heads. The goal of this course has nothing to do with technical analysis, has nothing to do with trade setups or calls, even though we actually will cover all that, and we will teach you all that. And I'll be showing some very specific setups that have been wildly profitable for me, and I'll show you exactly how to take advantage of them yourself and how you can mimic the exact thing. But way more than that, we're going to teach you how to set these things up yourself, how to come up with all your own stuff, and how to do your own thing as well. Okay. So anyway, we're going to talk about that. And back to what I said earlier about this isn't about how to trade. This whole program is how to become a trader, and what that actually right now. We're going to talk a lot about mentorship and accountability. Okay, some very important things, and kind of a whole new structure of the campus, which actually this new thing won't even be called the campus. We'll talk about that as well. But is going to be the community is going to be very focused, and it's going to be very elite. Okay, nobody gets in the community without going through the training, and we have some very strict rules for the community aspect of it. Not to take away fun or anything. Obviously, it'll still be a great community. But there will be a very real resource where you can have accountability partners, where you can have some mentorship, where you can do some of the things that you're going to need that you'll have if you were in like a prop shop environment, and they're not available in the retail space specifically, but we're going to be, kind of gearing things to where we can have that, talking about how to do it. We're going to be going through a day in the life of a trader, showing you, some real insight into like, okay, if I'm starting my day, what does that look like? What do I need to be doing before I trade? How do I need to structure some routine things? What do I need to be doing when I'm actually sitting at the computer? So I'm not just like wasting time or doing stuff randomly. Once I'm done trading, what do I need to do? And before and after specifically, there's some very real steps that we need to be taking. And that's part of the work. That's part of doing this as a business. That's part of being a trader. Nobody, a lot of times you don't really get talked about this. And if you do, it's very generalized. We're going to drill that down very specifically. Okay, so we're gonna have some resources and some actual like extracurricular reading type stuff, a lot of things that are gonna go along with these courses each week. But those would be like the breakdowns. We're gonna pack in like a ton of content and then give you some, some reading and some other books you can get if you'd like, that'll drill these ideas down deeper. And then we'll have some actual resources that you'll print off and you'll work through, so to speak. Okay, so all that's gonna be like week one, and just kind of getting the ball rolling. We're also gonna have a whole section in week one that's just gonna be the basics, where we're going to talk about some very, kind of generalized things about TA, setting up accounts, things about, how to exactly use exchanges, how to figure out your fees situation, how to do order types, some of these like basic ideas that we're still getting questions about now, going to really drill those down to where people know exactly what it is. So you're not going to have any confusion about any of this basic stuff anymore. It doesn't matter what you're doing for trading. Like there's certain things you just really need to have a very firm grip on, right? So for instance, if you're still trading and you've been trading a while and you don't actually know how the fee situation work on your exchange, that's a huge no-no, okay? Because what happens is these are on purpose. They're worded very different. They're very wordy when they explain certain things because they don't want you to actually know what you're paying for fees and stuff. And so with anything in the finance industry, we got to do our due diligence. We got to make sure we're aware of what we're doing exactly, and we got to be good stewards. So anyway, some of that basic stuff, we're going to talk through all that in the first week as well, get us on the right path. And then week two is going to be some very heavy mental preparation. Okay, we're going to be talking about some mindsets and expectation type stuff. All right, but we as people, right? We always, not always, but we expect an outcome for virtually every single thing we do in our life, because that's the way we've been raised. That's the way we're hardwired. That's the way our world is structured. Okay, you go to work, you get a paycheck, right? 2 + 2 = 4. You go to buy a ticket, you get access to the concert or the game, right? Like we're even if we're not aware of this, this is what we do. We do things and we expect a certain result. Those hardwiring and a bunch of other things are actually very counterproductive to what it's going to take to become a trader and what it takes to actually have longevity in this business. So we're going to take some time and really identify what our hardwired issues are, how we're going to break those, how we're going to retrain our minds. That's going to set us on a right path for actually being able to implement, some of these things. And this is going to be very, very important. We're going to deal with a lot of issues here. We're going to deal with something called emotional capital. If you guys aren't familiar with that, very, specific topics we're going to have to dive in. We're going to talk about errors and their root causes. Okay. You can go to Google and you can Google around like trading mistakes, trading errors, whatever. And you go to 10 different sites. You're probably going to hear almost the same exact things. People are going to talk about like, jumping into margin going live too soon, whatever. They're going to talk about kind of the same exact trading errors. And that's not going to be what we're going to be dealing with. We're going to be dealing with very situationally specific mistakes that you're going to find yourself into. Okay. You're going to find yourself in situations where you have a setup, you wait, you're supposed to take it, you don't take it, and then you take it late or you don't take it at all, and then you start getting FOMO. Like there's certain like very specific situations, there's about 7 of them that we've all been in and we're all going to go through. And there's a very specific root cause for what's causing us to do that. And identifying those errors and then knowing what we need to change, fixing that error is going to solve the issue. And if we're not aware of it, we can go for years just keep committing the same exact mistake. And as traders, we are in the business of eliminating errors. Trading is a very unforgiving business. And if you commit an error, it costs you money. That's just how it is. There's really no other way around that. So if we eliminate errors, that is going to have a direct correlation on a positive P&L. And that's essentially going to put money right back in our pockets. Okay. So we have a lot of stuff we need to talk about this and this kind of idea. I'm skimming over it, but it goes deeper, obviously. So we're going to be talking about all that, and then we're going to be talking about something that I like to call, or maybe it was the way it was explained to me. I'm not sure where I came up with this, but one good trade, and specifically what it looks like and what our job is when we're placing trades. And this is a whole talk I'm going to do, but it's just the idea of what a good trade looks like, right? And then focusing on making one good trade, and whatever happens, every single trade is unique. Okay. You cannot let the loss from before influence how scared you are what you're doing with this next trade. You can't let a good win influence how you handle the next. Every single trade is unique. And we're going to break that down to like treating each trade individually, what a good trade looks like for us, how we know when we took a good trade, and focusing every single time we enter the market, we're focused on that one good trade. We're not focused on the trade we did last time. We're not focused on the few. We're literally focused on that one good trade, right? It's a mindset thing. It's a powerful technique. We'll walk you guys through the whole thing. It's going to be powerful for everybody probably. And so anyway, so that's kind of like the week 2 feel is going to be just getting us really in this winning trader mindset. Okay. And again, we're going to do this in a very structured way, because if you skip over this part or you just go to, like what everybody's probably more excited about, like the magic bullets or the systems and the setups and so forth, you just jump to that and you just start there, you just go for that part of it, then this whole course is going to be a waste. And you'll eventually blow out your account because it won't be sustainable. All right. So we have this structured in a very specific way, put a lot of thought, a lot of time, a lot of energy into how the structure is. And it's going to be important to follow it. Okay. The third section, the third week, is going to be all about maybe the actual physical preparation. But this is going to be very, very heavy on risk management. Okay. One of the most important topics we can talk about in trading. Most everything I post, most every time I talk to you guys, I end it with watch your risk, mind your risk, something about risk, because it is such an important topic. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about probabilities. We're going to talk about gambling versus investing. We're going to talk about understanding recovery time and why risk management is so important. We got some handouts and some things that are going to make this very visceral and easy to understand. We're going to talk about things like margin. Okay. Really understanding that, really understanding position sizing. And we're going to talk about scaling in. We're going to talk about scaling out. We're going to talk about daily loss limits. And what we're going to do is essentially probably shatter everything you know about risk management. Anybody who's been around trading for a while, unfortunately, especially like in the retail space of trading, we get this perspective and kind of a cookie cutter thing. And Jeffrey and I have talked about this as well. And I get why people say this, but like for instance, you guys have heard if you're risking something, never risk more than 1% of your account per trade, right? Or 2% of your account per trade. And that's the cookie cutter kind of thing that everybody does. And that's actually what I would tell people as well, because you know, if I'm just kind of somebody's asking me in passing, I feel like that's the kind of thing I would have to say, because there's certain principles about trading that by themselves they're helpful and there's nothing wrong with them. But if you don't understand them fully, you can get very, very hurt. Okay, a good analogy might be like handing a sharp knife to a small child. You know, like there's not to, you know, demean anybody here, but like in itself, a knife is very helpful and it has a lot of purposes. But you know, if you don't have the ability to know what you're holding in your hand and what you're doing, it can be fatal, right? And so for that reason, there's a lot of just generalized risk management ideas that people adopt and everybody follows. And if you went to a trading desk and if you actually got around a professional environment, absolutely nobody does that. Okay, it's just not the way. There's advanced techniques that people use, and in a very real sense, part of the reason I've been able to stay in this game for a long time is going to come down to these ideas of scaling in and scaling out and how I mitigate risk by doing that. And so, just give you guys a little bit of an insight here. One of the things will be, you know, stop looking at your how much you're risking in terms of percentages per trade, and start looking at like a daily loss limit. All right. So this is a very different thing. We're going to tell you how to calculate this, how to figure this out. But that's how you have to start looking at things. And then what we're essentially going to start doing is looking at our risk in terms of units. All right. We don't look at percentages. We definitely don't look at it in dollar amounts, but we look at it as units. So we figure out how many units of risk we have per day, so forth. And then we are going to build out trades, and we're going to build out systems. And then we're going to classify our trades. We're going to show you how to do all this. But what we're going to do is you're going to have your highest quality setups, kind of like your mid-tier setups, and then almost like your feeler type setups, right? So throughout the day, you're going to have setups that happen that these are high quality setups. These are high risk to reward setups. These are the setups you need to make sure you take and you push hard, right? So these are going to be putting on a lot more units of risk on. These are the ones you're going to be going hard on. And then throughout the day, you might like, you know, like in the middle of the day, there's not a lot of volume. Stuff's just kind of chopping around, whatever. But you have some type of a setup that you want to take. All right. But in that environment, that might not be like a great risk to reward. It might not be like a super high probability. And it might just be like one of those like trades, B level, you know, C level, whatever, lower tier trades. So still take them, still be involved, but like don't treat those the same way that you treat like really good setups, really high quality trades. Okay. Again, showing you the difference between this, how to do this. And then this is going to be part of like the work, but also part of the developing yourself as a trader and you building out, you taking the time. And it's something you'll do over, you know, months and so forth. But you identify these high quality setups, you identify these high quality trades, you identify what's working for you, what's not. You classify these things. You have an actual record of these things. It's your Bible, so to speak, that you can reference anytime you want. And anyway, so you'll be doing that. And if that's at all confusing, don't worry. We're going to break it down, like I said, in detail. Specifically what to do, and then scaling in, scaling out. Scaling out is something that is I don't talk about hardly ever, because there's a very fine line between scaling in, should I say? I'm sorry, scaling in your trade. If you don't know what scaling is, that's instead of going all in on a trade, you'll put something on first, and then you'll keep adding to that position and making it larger. Most people do this when they talk about it. I find that when a trade starts going against them, that's when they're adding to it. And there's a very, very fine line between adding to a losing trade and scaling in. And I don't think very many people know the difference. So what ends up happening is the trade's going against them and they're losing, but they're actually adding to it. And adding to a losing trade is essentially one of the worst things that you can do. Of all the trading errors, it's like probably one of the most fatal, because again, you can get just ass backwards so fast if you're adding to a losing position. Okay, so the better way to scale in my opinion, and you know, there's multiple ways to do this, but what makes more sense is actually when you're taking a trade. So you're putting a trade on, you've taken it, as it's working out, and as this trade is playing and showing you that this in fact is going in your direction, which is giving you more confidence in this trade, then there can be an approach where you actually add to it and you press those trades that are winners. You really take advantage of those trades that are working out. And if it doesn't start working out, and if it doesn't go in your direction, then you don't have to have such a strong hand in it. Okay. So techniques for all this stuff, powerful, going to change the way that you're taking trades, taking setups, going to change the way that you take advantage of your winners. Because you hear these kind of things like, oh, you know, let your winners run, take advantage, you know, cut your losers short, whatever. But there has to be an actual like technique on how you know, and we don't know, right? We don't know when we first put on a trade how good it's going to be. But as these trades are working out, we can be in positions to, to really take advantage of the winners. And then we don't have to if they're not going to be winning out. Okay. So anyway, a little bit of an insight there to it. Whole week around this stuff, a lot of content, very, very, very powerful week. Again, all under the idea of risk management, but extremely different than anything you've heard, extremely different than anything available right now. Okay. So another reason why this is taking so long, because there's just so much to think through and so much to try to put into words and actually put into structured content. But anyway, so that's what we've been doing. That's why I've been ghosting for like the last couple of weeks or however long. Because this has been like my life, and I've literally just been sitting in front of a computer, like trying to figure this stuff out and try to put it into structure. Jeffrey and myself both. So, week number 4. There's, I know I've been talking for like a long time, but I really want you guys to kind of hear this. Jeffrey, should I cut this a little bit shorter, or should I keep going?
Well, we're over halfway right now, so no reason not to keep going.
Okay. I can't see anything, so I don't know if I'm boring people or people are dropping off or whatever. But this is helpful information, so play this back on like double speed if you want. But I just want everybody to be on the same page and get the whole thing here. Week 4 is going to be what we're calling, like, I don't actually have the title for this yet, but something about like creating your master plan, creating your code or your out whatever. But this is just going to be about the actual business plan and your specific approach to the market. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up for the last couple things because I actually have to get going as well. But we're going to talk about building out trading plans, building out your business plan. Okay, there's going to be an actual document we walk you through. We're talking about your specific trading rules, your trading systems. Okay, show you how to set these up, how to identify them, how to figure out what it needs to be for you. And then I talked about this earlier about in the risk management thing, we'll talk about classifying your setups. In this section, we're just going to talk to you about how to identify those setups, how to classify them, how to log them, journaling, trade tracking. Walk you through this all and give you the tools you need to make sure you do this correctly. Going to be a very, very powerful week. And then the 5th week is going to be about actually getting in there. We're going to be talking about some like deeper knowledge about the markets. We've already covered the basics of setting stuff up, some basic TA and so forth. And this week we're going to really dive down to breaking the market down, okay, to its most basic sense, its most raw sense, and its most core principles. And if you can do that, and if you can get a deep understanding of how the markets work, why we have them, what their purpose is, you can take this information and apply it to any approach, apply it to any market, apply it to any product. It's just part of the trading process, nothing specific to crypto. And if you'll notice, almost everything in this course is not going to be specific to cryptocurrencies at all. Okay, that's what I focus on primarily, and so we're going to have, like, for examples and stuff. I'll be showing you that, but this is structured toward becoming a trader, and you can take this stuff, you'll tweak it, you can do whatever, but you can apply all of this to any market, any exchange, anything. If crypto went up in smoke tomorrow, and the whole thing got banned off the planet and shut down, like, that's obviously not going to happen, but whatever. We could all take this information, go over to Forex. We could all take this and go to the futures market. We could go to traditional stocks, like whatever. We'd have to spend some time tweaking it, but this is the path of a trader, not the path of crypto necessarily. Okay, but we're going to talk about the markets, the auction process, and so forth. This is called auction market theory. We're going to dive deep into that. I'm going to give you some, and then this is where we're going to kind of go into my actual approach. Okay, I'm going to show you how I handle the market, how I build out like context. I'm going to show you like day to day how I handle day types. What exactly my strategy is for trading intraday. And then I'm going to show you some specific setups. Well, actually, maybe not in this section. I think this will be the next section. But either way, we're going to go over a lot of stuff here, just like understanding time frames, understanding the modes the market are in. It's just like a lot of just like detailed stuff about how the market works, and then how we can identify certain situations and so forth. Okay, so whole week on that, and then the last one is going to be I'm call it strategies. Again, don't really have the name for this title yet, but it'll be the 6th week, going over some actual setups, going over actual live market conditions, going over some principles on understanding like when products open and so forth, how to read that, and then specifically what good setups look like. And this will probably be when I show you like specifically, like, listen, okay, here is a market situation that we can identify that happens, whatever. When we see this happen, this is exactly how I handle it. Here's the trade setup. And then again, like, you guys can take advantage of this. You guys can start. These are things that you don't have to even trade the way I trade. They'll be a little bit more general to where as long as you understand some basic stuff, you can jump in there and profit off of these setups. very valuable. These are things that I've developed. These are things that, again, you're not going to see anywhere else because they're my own, right? They're what I've done and how I've built out and things that I've noticed in the market, and then like looking at them, back testing them, checking them out, and then actually putting rules to them, and then actually executing on them when I see them. Okay, so the last really good example of this was Sunday night when that kind of explosion happened. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful setup. Low risk, high reward, played out amazingly. So I'll show you some of that stuff. Specific, detailed, whatever. Okay. So, and then we're also talking about like scaling out your business and making it larger. How to grow it, growing a trading business, sizing up, adding positions. Very difficult. Has to be done very uniquely. And if you just start like having a few good trading weeks and then start like putting on bigger size, putting on bigger leverage, you'll blow out your account. It's just the way it happens. So we'll show you specifically how to actually grow your trading business, how to add size, how to use like certain percentages, again, so forth. We'll give you the actual details of exactly what I would do if I were you.
Hello. Everything all right?
Yeah. Sorry, I just dropped everything. Okay. Anyway, I'm back. So anyway, that is thank you for, if you guys are still here listening. Again, I can't see, but thanks for letting me talk your ear off, because I know that was a lot of information probably, but that is what we're looking at. Okay. And again, this is a trader development program, going to be pretty unique, and really, really excited to provide this as a service where it's not, again, it's going to be very focused on getting you real results and turning you into a trader, and putting you in a position where you can be in this for a while, start eliminating confusion, start eliminating, just not knowing exactly what you're doing at a market, being confused about stuff, not knowing what you should do. Like, we're going to address all those issues and put you on a really, really good path, give you everything you need to make it happen. Okay. So that's been that's the vision. That's the structure. And I'm sure Jeff will probably have something to add to this, but please make sure that if you guys have any specific thoughts or ideas or things that you're struggling with, I know we created that poll because we wanted to get a lot of good feedback, and I've been using the answers in that as I go out, and things that I probably might not have thought to add in, but then I see like a common theme that people are struggling with this. So making sure we put that in there as part of the plan. That's all been very helpful. Okay. So we've make sure you're utilizing that and giving us the feedback if you can, because we'll take it, we'll use it. And, we're making this very custom. So any feedback's, good feedback. Okay. Jeff, that is, about all I got as far as the program goes. If you want to add anything to it, or if you want to ask anything, or if there's any, I don't know if there's any questions or anything. Like I said, I can't see.
Yeah, guys, if you have questions, please ask them now, as Korbs is here with me. Let's see. Let me just open up the right window. I lost it for a second. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Questions.
Do we have any?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Just for the viewers' information, when I say something, it takes about 15 seconds to, reach your device. So there might be a little bit of delay in questions sometimes, but it seems like we have no questions, which hopefully means that everything is clear so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah, doubtful. I really, honestly, I kind of hate that there's not more questions, because I really hope, I don't know, some participation in this process, because again, we're doing this for the campus. We're doing this to grow it. We're doing this to, just make a fundamental shift in what we're offering, and where we're all headed as a group. And I know it's a little tough, and if I can just maybe address this, because I've been super absent from a lot of stuff, but just in my life in general, actually, like all my friends and stuff too, they're like, yo, because I hope you can see, like, just even hearing the structure for it, like this is like a real deal kind of a thing. This isn't something that we're just kind of slapping together, or we're putting like 30 or 40 hours into. Like, this is something that is like a I don't want to be dramatic and say like a life's work, but in some respects, yeah, like this is a real product that is going to really take traders, put them, from this confused kind of horrible environment we have, and really providing some good answers and some really good, some good feedback, but also like putting people on a good path, right? So really motivated. Jeff and I both are just really passionate about this as like a project, and we're really excited to be offering it to the campus, and excited that, again, obviously you guys are going to just have access to this because you're part of the community, and for nothing extra, and then other people have to pay for it, obviously. So
We do have a question.
Heyo.
I think it's a good question. The question is, will there be a rating system in some way to measure our performance in learning from the new learning materials?
Will there be a rating system?
Yeah, like a performance measuring tool. In some way, I would answer that question with yes. There is going to be some sort of I wouldn't call it a rating system, but we are going to make sure that everybody who follows the program is actually going to log their trades, and in that sense, you should be able to see the results for yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like we're going to put a big emphasis on one, like the work side of trading. Like sitting in front of your computer typically isn't just like, that's not just the work side of it. There's other things that go into this, and the kind of the what's boring for me, and I say this because it's something I struggled with for a long time, and something I don't like to do at all, but it's a very necessary step, is logging trades and like keeping track and keeping records. And trading is kind of this high intensity sport that you gotta know your own metrics, right? So yeah, as far as like personal is like your personal metrics and your personal performance, yes, we'll definitely be tracking that. And I say we will be, you'll be, you know what I mean? And that's going to be a really big focus of this that I'm excited about too, is getting us out of this idea that we need trade calls, we need setups, we need, whatever, and then really developing and giving us what we need to be doing this stuff on our own. Okay. And taking, because here's the deal with trading, right? Trading is, there's no boss, there's nobody looking over for you. You have an unbelievable amount of freedom in trading, and you have to develop an incredible sense of just a personal accountability. And that's a skill that a lot of people might not have at first, but we will hopefully be developing it. And they'll definitely, we're going to put a premium on metrics, and there'll be ways to track that. But I don't know if that was really answering the question. I think the way it was asked, maybe no, in a sense of, there's not going to be like some kind of a big leaderboard somewhere that we're going to all like be looking at or whatever. But yeah, you'll definitely be keeping track of your own stuff, and the progress will be there, or it won't be there. And if it's not there, then we'll know, and we can do stuff to fix that. And that's a big thing of kind of the new direction we're going with, even the community, is providing an environment where we can see where we're failing and tweak it, because that's all it is for trading. If trading is very much, if you're failing and you're not being consistent, if you're not keeping records, there's not much we can do. Okay. But if you give me your stats, or if you show people your stats, it's very obvious that like, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. We need to get better at this. Right. And then that's part of the journey that we'll be explaining as a trader. It's not like, oh, hey, I just got this head full of information and now I'm a great trader. Right. Which just not how it is. It's this journey that we're all on of just becoming better, bettering ourselves, bettering our skills. And then your performance will follow.
Well said. I believe that that should have answered your question, John, or at least I hope so. Other than that, there seem to be no questions. So what's going to happen here is Korbs is going to be flying from the States to the Netherlands, which I believe is like super awesome.
Yeah, I just booked my ticket a few minutes ago, so I'm leaving. I got a couple of days to get my life in order, and then I'm going to be there. I'll see Jeff on Tuesday. So.
Yep, and then we're really gonna kick it up, step it up. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, I think that would pretty much be it. If you don't have anything else to cover, Korbs.
I'll go ahead. I don't know if you're gonna go over market stuff now, but I'll jump off here and I'll get going. Anyway, just really excited to jump in with you guys here for a little bit, and I hope you guys are excited about what's going on, and I hope that you can. See past kind of the absence of some certain things, and realize that it's not a neglect thing. It's not a losing an interest thing. It's very much just the necessary thing that has to happen, because this is a very big project, and so there has to be some really drastic steps of focus and work that go into this. Okay, so anyway, I hope you guys know that there's just an insane amount of work being put on right now, and I hope that we do a really good job of giving you guys a first class product. Okay, which is the goal. So be well, everybody. Again, if you guys need me for anything, please reach out to me just in a direct message. Even if I'm not being super active in the chats, I'm usually at least locked in and seeing what's going on. I try to be as much as possible. And then if you need anything, just know that I am still here. Obviously, I haven't gone anywhere, but I know I haven't been around that much. So okay. Have a great rest of the Saturday, great rest of the weekend, and Jeff, I'll say goodbye to you. I'll talk to you later on, and see you soon. Okay,
Yeah,
and yeah. So have a great rest of the call, everybody, and then we'll be talking real soon. All right.
Okay, man. See you soon. Thanks.
Okay. Bye, guys.
So, okay, that was pretty much that. Some things that I would like to show you right now. Not really sure. There we are. Okay, had to find the right tab for a second. So, quick update on my triangle. Just gonna go over to the daily view here, just to make it a little bit easier. There we are. So we've been looking at this triangle for quite a while now, and we might actually be breaking out at this very moment. We've been struggling. We've really been struggling to fight off this resistance right here, and it seems that we're still not entirely through. I would have expected at least some bullish movement at this point, but it seems to be off. So what we have to do here is probably wait for 1 or 2 more days, and that should be the moment when we can finally get our direction. And I trust me, I do know this has been a very long wait, really put my patience to the test, but it seems like the grand finale is coming, so that's really awesome. I would like to make this a huge live stream where I go over all these different coins and all this different stuff, but in essence, and in all honesty, I don't think it really matters that much, because what matters is what Bitcoin is going to do in the next couple of days. And it really does depend a lot on where Bitcoin is going. And there we are. If we just look at some general alts, for example, Ethereum, you can see that we are still above support, which is obviously great. But then again, I wouldn't say this looks super strong. So it really depends, once again, on Bitcoin. And I don't think there's a lot of use in making all these different charts for the alts right now. So what I'm going to do is I am going to keep my eye on Bitcoin. And probably I will stay awake through the entire night. So I will be looking into doing a launch party with you guys, just because I personally believe the time is almost there. And when it's there, after all this after all this time of no volatility or whatsoever, I don't want to miss this. I want to get those stacks from the breakouts. So thanks for watching, guys. And I will do the next live stream probably tomorrow morning, depending on Bitcoin has, moved at all, or if it's still dormant. Have a great day, and I see you in the Discord.